Hello and welcome to the Outside the Numbers podcast. This is our Super Bowl 57 recap show. I am Shelby Allen. I'm here with Ethan Monjour, and let's just dive right in. On top of everybody's minds is the holding call. What did you think?
Okay, so first look live when it happened, I thought that it was bad. It was going to be another argument about the refs running the playoffs, playing for the Chiefs, and just handing them the game. And I really thought that that's what it was. It was just another bad call. He didn't impede the route. I didn't see a hold anywhere. Um, and then after the game, scrolling Twitter, watching everybody's crazy reactions, Philly fans smashing their TVs, the good stuff. Found out the player himself said in the locker room that it was holding and that he grabbed the jersey. And so I was like, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, I
That's not
almost I almost felt bad for
usually
Philly fans because I'm like, they need to be able to be mad at the refs for
right.
making a bad call. He
Yeah.
just blew it. Now they have to be like, oh, maybe it
Now they
wasn't
have no
good.
excuse anymore.
Yeah.
And that
Um,
was the quote tee was like nobody can be upset about this anymore. I
yeah.
was like, well, I guess, yeah.
Yeah. Right
And then
on.
there was a picture floating around, a still image of him with just a fistful of jersey.
Yeah, so
And I was like, oh
I've
well,
got it pulled up. I'm gonna share it real quick.
okay.
Let's see. It'll load. Oh, that
That was
is awkward. That is not at all the right picture.
that was
That's
pregame, but
oh,
also
that's really
probably what
weird.
he looked like later.
Sorry, I left. I was doing like pregame stuff. I must have left some of this. I swear one of these is the picture. I'll start kind of scattershotting through here. Is that cop? No, yeah, that's still not it. That's the weirdest
Oh,
thing.
good
I
lord.
don't. Is it? Huh.
It seems
Would
like
have
one of
worked.
us might be
That seems
a
like
little bit of a Philly hater.
I'm not sure what
Maybe
you're talking
a
about. That's the fan vote, but that's still not the picture. Man,
well,
what
yeah,
is this?
maybe
Oh,
not
and
themselves.
this is off topic, obviously, because I'm looking for the picture from holding. But this is. Did you see the
Yeah.
Phillies and the Union both lost championships? Terrible. I feel
Yeah,
horrible for Philly.
that's tough.
Uh,
That's tough.
Obviously, when we get to the picture somewhere in here, we'll realize like that it was all just
This is
they deserve what they
yeah,
got,
it is foolish
maybe.
to punch
But
a horse.
yeah, yeah, just a
That's
bunch of.
peculiar.
Oh, that's weird. I don't know how that got in there. Okay, well, I tell you what. At some point,
You do.
surely we're gonna. Oh, there. Okay, there we go. There
There
is
it
the
is.
picture, and that's a
Okay.
good picture.
It
It
is.
really
It
does
is.
show like
You don't see that from the
he's
other
tugging
angle.
on the jersey, and Greg Olson repeatedly saying like, they made the wrong call over and over on air. They were showing a replay where it was about like maybe a half second later, where he
Uh-huh.
was grabbing, I think a little higher up on the jersey, but from a different angle. It really didn't look like holding, and that's what like the entire country
Right.
saw. And then
Yeah.
nobody really saw this until I mean, I'm sure Twitter was on it 20 seconds after it happened, but the national media didn't see it until today. So, but yeah, that's enough of that. So I'll
Yeah.
stop sharing. We can hop into the rest of the game. I'm sorry, I had to do it. I
I
had to
mean,
do it.
yeah, they deserve it, you know?
Yeah, they absolutely do. But yeah, let's hop in. We'll start with the post game address, which is funny because we kind of touched on this last week. Neither of us love these two teams,
No.
and I don't even think that's unique. I think a lot of people watching the game were kind of in the same
Yeah.
boat as us, where it's like,
Well, yeah, there
I
was the NFL IG meme going around. It was like who you're cheering for based on your state, and it was Kansas City and Philadelphia also, or obviously were their own colors, but everyone else just wanted a meteor strike.
yeah,
And I was like, yeah,
that is a
that
hundred
kind of
percent
makes
accurate.
sense.
Yeah, no,
That's how we're feeling.
which is so funny to me because I feel like we're not even that far removed from like a young, exciting Patrick Mahomes who like everybody's rooting for, and then all it takes is like
Yeah.
a couple AFC championships in a row, and you're like, all right, that's enough. Settle back down.
Well, I don't know why. I just kind of find him annoying.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I know there's the other people in that boat. I don't know if it's the way he runs.
he
Maybe
does
it's
have a
a.
little something with his run. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
Shoot.
know. But
All
and
right.
he
Well,
wins
let's.
a lot.
All right. So now we turn on the objective journalism um, to get into the true recap of the show. I've got his post game address. The confetti is falling. The camera cuts to was it Pam Oliver? I'm not sure. Cuts to the interviewer with Mahomes and Travis Kelce. Just hey, open up to us. And Kelsey says, "Not one of y'all said the Chiefs were going to take it home this year. Not a single one. Feel that. And on top of that, next time the Chiefs say something, put some respect on our name." Ethan, what are your thoughts on Travis Kelsey's statement there?
Immediate confusion because I haven't heard any doubt in the realm of the Chiefs and their playoff chances and you know, they're everyone kind of thinks top AFC team.
Yeah,
All so I don't really know where he's coming from with this.
on a very basic level, before the season started, they were the third highest Super Bowl in Vegas, according to the odds. They
You're
had the
right,
third
yeah,
best odds to win the Super Bowl. They
which is
also
good.
they also have gone 58-18, not even including their 14-3 record this year. So that's not even including that. They've won, whatever that percent is of their games. It's absurd. Everyone in the league pretty much agrees that Mahomes is the best quarterback. And how do you try to build the narrative that you are an underdog? Is that just like
I
off the?
don't know. I
Did he
really
plan
think
that
it
out before the
started
game?
well, I think they overblew whoever it was calling Arrowhead Burrowhead. Like there
Yeah,
was one player said that one time, and then I know Travis responded to that right afterwards, and then I think he just held on to that one real
I
tight and
I
carried
guess.
it and
Yeah,
let it go to his head. But I mean, if it motivated him to,
it's just
I
maybe
mean,
the least
he played a
relatable.
great game. So
Yeah, yeah, and he's. I mean, he is. I don't know where you fall in this. I think he has like. I don't know. You can't be that definitive, but like him or Gronkowski, if you can draft one of them right now and they're 22, and you
and they
have the
yeah,
rest of their career, I'm drafting Kelsey every time. Maybe
every
that's
time.
recency bias.
That might be recency bias on you.
But
I don't
we
know
are
about
like
that.
it's the consistency. He doesn't get injured. He's
That's
a
true.
beast in the postseason. I mean, think Gronk missed like a third of their playoff runs when he was active. Like he
Yeah, he is a lot
he
more agile
struggled
than
with
Gronk
injuries.
too.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I think that's worth. I think
Yeah.
the tight end goat debate is now a little more contentious.
Well, Tony
So let's.
Gonzalez is up there too, I think. I
Yeah,
don't think
yeah.
he
No,
gets enough.
there's a couple. I started hearing everyone in the media like really hammer Gronk home as
Yeah,
the goat, and I'm like I don't know. It seems like so quickly that's kind of turned around.
yeah. I think Shannon Sharp was really big on that. Like it's not even a debate. I was like, oh,
That's why
whatever.
we have debates, but yeah, that's so I will ask you real quick your play of the game. What would you point to?
I think that scramble by Mahomes in the fourth quarter, that last drive, that on the hurt ankle, putting the team on his back. That was like
I
it's like
see the pain in
almost
your voice
cheesy.
as you
Well,
as
it's
you
almost
phrase the
cheesy
move.
as it is,
Yeah,
because he's like he heard it early in the first half, right? So he's like, how's he gonna do for the rest of the game? Is this? And he's the star player, and then he on his hurt foot scrambles to keep the game alive and ultimately win the game. It's big
yeah,
big pressure, and he delivered. So I think I
yeah.
got
No,
to give
I
it to that one.
I heard I was listening to the Dave Damashek show earlier, and they were pointing out, and now I have to go back and watch it. They were saying, and I can't tell if this is just them exaggerating, but they were saying that he looked like just fine when he was celebrating, and then you have an incompletion on third down, and you got to hobble to the sideline. So I really want to look back and see if he was actually doing that or
I
just
want to check that
them
out.
being mad at Mahomes.
Well, I know
But
because he was jumping up and down on it when they made the field goal. And I was
yeah,
like, well, yeah, but that's
something's
probably also a bunch of adrenaline, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt there. But
yeah dicey.
I
I
don't know.
I have I had the punt return as the
Okay.
go to. I just he the the stutter step, making the
It was
first man
nasty.
miss, and
It was
then getting
nasty.
outside. And also just the rarity of like a good special teams play in the Super Bowl.
True.
I mean, he didn't score on it, but what more can you really ask? Getting to like the five. So, yeah, no, I think that's, I think it was 28-27 about at the time. Oh, I also wanted to raise this. This is off the books, but when when the Chiefs score a touchdown and it becomes before the extra point, it is now a 7-point game. And then you can kick the extra point to make it an 8-point game, and that's what they opt to do.
Uh-huh.
What part of you wants to go for two with the chance to make it a 9-point game? And I won't tell you how I feel about this until after I get your answer.
So the way I look at that is you already got your 7, you know. So like you didn't actually, but you know what I mean. So
Mm-hmm.
if you go for 2, it's just kind of extra, can push it to the. So I'm like, what's there to lose?
Okay,
That's
all
how
right,
I
yeah,
am.
we're 100% on the same page.
Okay.
At as it was happening, I was genuinely like frustrated and semi baffled for the similar
Yeah.
reason, right? Because it's a
Yeah.
7-point game, and there's no possible situation where Philly would drive down the field, score, and then go for two if you missed it. Like if you don't make
Right.
it, it's a 7-point game, it's a tie game, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But if you kick the extra point, it's now an 8-point game. Your possibilities are either they tie it or they don't convert. But neither of your possibilities are be ahead 2 possessions with like 10 minutes left in the Super Bowl, which is all anybody could ask for. And you had a chance to do it. And also you've
And
been
you weren't
hitting just
giving
like,
up, like you weren't closing the gap on the possessions at all if you miss.
yeah, yeah,
So
it's just keeping it the same. It's
yeah,
still, yeah, no. So I don't know. I mean, it doesn't matter at this point, but it would have,
it was
I don't know. And
frustrating
it was frustrating, yeah, for
from like
sure.
from the coach's mind. It was yeah.
Yeah, Andy Reid. I guess at this point, can you start thinking of where would you place Andy Reid in the top 10 or so head coaches of all time?
I think we can.
Because he's for sure in the top 10.
Yeah, top 10 definitely. I think we can talk about him in the top 5 because he has 2 Super Bowl
Okay.
wins now. He was the winningest head coach for Philly, right?
And now with
And
Kansas
now
City,
with
I think
Kansas
like
City as
really
well,
recently.
which is I
Yeah.
think that's big. But we have throughout history, we've got 4 head coaches with at least 3 Super Bowl titles. So he gets that third
Okay.
one. He's going to move up into the top 3 conversation with Belichick, Chuck Nolan, Bill Walsh.
That's
So,
so crazy to think he was just without like because he had been with the Eagles, but
right.
he was like the long suffering coach that couldn't get the Lombardi, and now all of a sudden
Yeah, he
within
was a
half a
joke.
decade he's up there with the best. That's man,
He was
what a lovable
it's
character in the
it's
NFL.
very fun to
What a
watch.
treat.
And
Yeah.
he's just so
And
happy
okay,
about it.
on a mere 1v1 level, if you like, I know we've voiced our problems with these teams,
Mhm.
right? But if you're gonna ask me to root for one of those head coaches, I can't stand near Sirianni.
No,
Uh,
no,
just the
very
smugness and all that.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Well,
So I
and
think
then like
I
we
think we
just
won
said
on many levels.
that Andy Reid has such a great story that it's very easy to
Yeah,
be happy for him. So,
yeah, and of like with Hurts, and I know they're gonna lose some people in the offseason. Every team says that though. It's like the run is over. We're going to lose people in the offseason. It's like, I mean, yeah, every team's gonna
yeah,
lose.
some
It's
people.
not like they still have an incredible quarterback that was an MVP candidate. They still have AJ Brown. They may lose their center. They may lose some offensive linemen, but the Eagles will certainly be, you know, 100% on top of the Commanders. They'll still be competing for the division. So
That's true.
that's my attempt at reconciling slightly with the Philly fans that are that are still upset about earlier in the show. Segment 2, I'm going to roll in non QB MVP of the Super Bowl. and I think this is important because the MVP has become kind of just a quarterback award in the regular season and the Super
Yeah.
Bowl. I know Mahomes had a great game. I kind of liked this is absurd, but like Kadarius Toney
Okay.
as a non quarterback MVP, like with the touchdown in the flat, because it's gonna be the winning team. You know,
Yeah.
I think there was
Yeah.
a couple weird years where they had the losing team have the MVP. That has to be the worst feeling ever. But but like a punt that sets up the game securing touchdown, and then the short touchdown reception in the flat. But it wasn't like they didn't have any like bomb big offensive plays, so I
No.
feel like
Well,
that
because if you
makes the
look at,
significance of the punt return a little more valuable.
I mean, look at Mahomes' yards. He was under 200 for this game, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
180.
like one.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
very not Mahomes.
yeah, and very not MVP. I'll say.
That's very true. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
My non
yeah.
QB MVP would be Kelsey,
Okay,
just
yeah,
because
yeah.
there
That's
were
totally fair.
several drives where that he kept alive simply because he is a monster.
When you say Kelsey, I literally picture like three different, just like basic seam routes from that
Yeah,
game, just the same thing, wide open
I
in the
thought you were
middle.
gonna say three
Yeah.
different players, and I
That
didn't
is
think
true. Yeah,
about.
at least two. Yeah. Yeah. No, I think both of those are good. I can't stand the like the Super Bowl MVP just having become like, all right, who won the Super Bowl?
All
All
right,
right,
that
who
team's
was their
quarterback.
quarterback?
Yeah,
And that's that. Like it's just not it's not exciting. It's not fun. All right, so we'll move on. Okay, so yeah, so at this point, I think we've pretty much covered the Super Bowl. Maybe Kansas City fans would argue this isn't enough coverage, but I wanted to hop in on one last news item. Derek Carr said that he will not accept a trade, so he's going to basically force the Raiders to release him, and he insists on visiting a lot with your team.
yeah.
I just want to read the room. How are you feeling on
I
that?
mean, I don't know. Drew Brees said some nice things about him. You hate to think differently than Drew Brees if you're a Saints fan, but I don't like it, man. I don't feel like it's gonna change anything. I think it's gonna give us hope that it will, and then we're gonna be heartbroken again, like we were when we thought we were getting Jameis this season, and then he just didn't play. So
I guess that leads me into like, where do you think, like, comparatively, the ceiling of Derek Carr sits against like a Jameis or an Andy Dalton in their
okay, so
2023
I
versions
think
of
he
both
would
of
be an improvement. I
them?
don't know, and then when you look at the Raiders over the last several seasons, it's not the best look, and they've had a lot of stuff go down there, and it's just not the best environment. So maybe a change of scenery would be good for him, and he can tap into something that he hasn't been able to do. But
Mm-hmm.
there's no evidence of that, and you can't just. I mean, when you're talking about where the Saints are right now, looking for a new franchise quarterback, looking for. I mean, we're not. This is the NFL. You're not trying to take several seasons until you just wait around and find the right guy. It's time to win now. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he's the guy to do that. I think he can give us a better season than we had this year, just because I think he has better
Yeah,
football skill than Andy Dalton, but I don't think he's the guy.
I guess that's I'm trying to relate him to even other options. Like obviously Garoppolo's a step down, Rodgers is a step up, but if you're going to commit to somebody that you already know kind of their ceiling, why not commit to Rodgers for I mean like if you're not thinking long term, if you're thinking win now, like you
Right.
said, like do you really like I mean Derek Carr is what he's like closing in on 30,
I
right?
think,
And
yeah.
he's not it's like
Yeah.
not even halfway through his career maybe. So I don't know. What do you think Aaron Rodgers worth the 1 to 2 year
I've
contract?
always been a big Rodgers guy. I know he had a bad season, and I would be nervous to take him for sure. Just because what if he is just tipped off and he's just not the Aaron Rodgers that we grew up watching. But I would also be super excited about that because of the potential that it brings. I mean, that's a like highly, um,
Hall
yeah,
of Fame,
what's the word?
All Pro.
Awarded, highly awarded veteran. That's
Yeah.
always gonna feel good.
How do y'all look like cap wise? Like,
It's
are
not
you
good.
prepared to
We're the
set
Saints.
Derek
It's
Carr up
New
with?
Orleans.
Okay,
It's not good.
it's never.
It's not.
Y'all are always like 20 million over,
We're
and you.
so negative right now. Hold on. Let's get the
So
actual
to
exact
make
number.
to make either work, you're gonna have to like drop a bunch of people and then bring in a brand new quarterback, and that's just scary territory.
Okay, so we had a whopping 1,111,000 rollover from 22 to 23. It is looking like I saw a figure on Twitter that was negative 20 million. So,
But okay, I feel like this is every year. This isn't
oh no,
like
I'm not worried that we'll
this
get
isn't
it.
like a super
Mickey
common
Loomis
thing.
is going to figure it out somehow. But until then, we just have to sit there biting our nails, hoping. Because, like, right now, we can't,
Ugh.
like, you can't afford a Rodgers. You couldn't afford Lamar Jackson if that was some by some miracle available.
Even possible. Yeah. As in a little bit of a fan philosophy here, I'm gonna throw this out for you. Would you rather be in my Cowboys fan position with Dak Prescott as your known starter with another, I think, year, just a single year left on the contract, or would you rather be in this state in between where there's you can still hold on to the mustard seed of hope that Lamar Jackson is your 2023 starting quarterback, but the floor is lower. What would you take it? Would you take the concrete middle, the firm median of NFL
Probably.
quarterbacks, or just live out on
Yeah,
hope?
I'd probably.
Interesting. Okay, that makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, I'd probably.
I appreciate
Because
that.
last season was rough. And it's like being
Yeah,
on the
that makes
bottom end
sense.
of that is not fun. So, as a fan.
Well, if you want Dak Prescott, you can
No,
have
that's
him.
okay. We have Derek Carr. Maybe. Almost.
They might be the same person, but yeah, that.
Just like painfully average.
So let's see. So I'll wrap up with some notes. So I know I was talking like hypothetical positivity for Eagles fans, as if there was a single one that was watching this genuinely. Why? Um, but yeah, trying to be positive is not easy when the last 17 quarterbacks to lose their Super Bowl debut have not returned to a Super Bowl, spanning all the way back to Stan Humphries of the then San Diego Chargers in the mid 90s. Um, Joe Burrow being the 17th, Jalen Hurts being the 18th. I don't think you could really include him yet. But it's a bad track record. I don't know if that's
That's
18, 17 people is pushing anomaly and getting into the point of like this is there like psychological damage that keeps these players from getting back? Is that
I
what it
wouldn't
is?
be surprised if that plays a part for sure. Because that's, the biggest. I mean, you think about that's what I was thinking about last night, watching everybody while the national anthem was going on. All the coaches start crying. You think about the fact that a lot of these guys, this is the only time they'll ever be in this game. They've worked their entire lives to get there. They are the top 1% of the top 1% to be able to make it. So to complete that, get there, and then lose, I wouldn't be surprised if that's pretty crushing and that it causes some nerves if you're ever back in that position. And it just, you know, very hard to overcome. I think Burrow's going to do it eventually. But
He's the one that breaks. Oh, that's a good point. Now it's like Burrow and
yeah,
Hurts kind of
he's the guy.
looking to see who can break that. I know like Garoppolo is in there too. I don't exactly
Hmm.
see that
Yeah,
happening. So I think it comes down to those guys. Yeah, Cam Newton.
that would
You never
be
know.
that
Come
would
out
be
of
the most
retirement.
wild thing to happen.
But yeah, same thing. Matt Ryan, Russell Wilson. No, Russell Wilson's all good on that one. But yeah, I looked through the list earlier, just ridiculous. So yeah, I think next week we can start to get. I'm looking at the time. I was gonna say we could talk about the absurdity that is the NFL is scripted community. Maybe that's something for next week. I want
It's
to just
so
go
much fun.
in on those people. Yeah, but for now we'll leave it at that. We hope you've enjoyed the second episode of the Outside the Numbers podcast. Thank you once again for coming on,
I
Ethan.
appreciate it, man. It was a lot of fun. See you.
See you, dude.